God almighty.
Well, you sound chipper this week.
Bite me.
I think a lot of things did. Again and again and again.
So, wake up, snap out of it, get out of the funk.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Legend Hunters Podcast.
Episode 34, and...
Been legal for quite a while now.
Yep.
We're entering our midlife crisis now. Jeez.
The butt fucking.
Oh, the what? God damn it, Leo.
Well, that's what it sounds like last night when you guys were fucking playing Monster Hunter 4.
Oh, yeah. I finally got Zero into it.
It was you two and Akari were going after monsters, and I swear to God, we could have just grabbed sound bites of the Skype call, and we could have put it into a porno, and I'm pretty sure we would have lost no context.
Well, to be fair, Legend was playing Monster Hunter. I was playing Minecraft with Muzi.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
Last night?
Not last night, no.
That's exactly what I mean, last night.
Oh, I thought you were talking about last recording session.
No, last night.
Yeah. So, why don't you tell them about your experiences?
Well, I can tell you, this is my last semester, hopefully, of my master's college.
Nice.
But it's been the worst one yet!
Ooh.
To start off, because of some fucking financial hiccup that I've had to deal with constantly every single fucking semester, I did not realize that I had to pay money for something that I did not owe from last semester. So what they did was they booted me out of all my classes.
Well.
So I had to immediately, after my class, rush over to the registrar and try to figure out what the fuck was going on. I was out of breath, having an asthma attack. My legs were burning in pain because I hadn't exercised in a while. And basically I managed to get that fixed up, but I couldn't get back into my classes.
So you're out for this semester, basically.
No, what I had to do was go around campus to talk to all of my professors to make them sign ad slips. Then go to the biology building registrar and tell them to get me back in after I got their signatures. It took me 3.5 days to get it done.
Damn.
I'm back in. I have a new credit in my class, which my dad needs to pay for the latest for that added credit. And now I gotta write 2 term papers for this semester and deal with a lot of tests. Not to mention in April, I have to do both a written and an oral exam. If I don't pass those, I don't graduate.
Well, that's to be expected. It's your master's, after all.
Yeah, this semester is going to be hell.
Yep, I can fully expect it.
Other than that...
On a brighter note,
Legend finally got me to get Monster Hunter 4.
as said before.
And
how's that treating you?
It's eating my life away. I should be writing papers instead of hunting monsters.
Once you go in, you don't go back.
So yeah, I'm Hunter rank 3, and soon to be Hunter rank 4 if all things go well. And other than that, I've been playing Fallout 4. Decided to restart over.
Again?
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
Again.
For the 3rd time.
Yes.
And this time, I'm doing a sniper build.
This time you're doing the long range build, yeah?
Yep.
Actually, that's the wrong character. What you're actually looking for is the Australian guy.
Oh, you mean the sniper from Team
Yes, that's the joke. Don't explain it. Oh boy.
Anyway, I found a really quick exploit to basically get the first 10 levels in like half an hour. So I managed to get like 10 levels, get all my starting gear started up, and then I could just start sniping and hunting pretty relatively easily. I want to get better and better because I have a kind of list planned out for what I want to level up.
Quick question. Have you tried the One Punch Man build yet?
Not yet. I want to get through at least one build first.
Alright.
Because even though I was enjoying my Assassin's build, I was not liking the close combat VAT system.
Okay.
It's just not my cup of tea. It's good. It works, but
It doesn't fly with you.
not yet. If I built up my character more, then probably. Other than that, played a little bit of Dark Cloud 2 on PS4. Did a little bit of practice with Dark Souls, recorded with Legend a couple of days ago. Not like last week.
Yep, and that was a fun one.
Oh, you guys got to see this.
Oh god, what are you...
Leo, what have you been doing while we have been chatting?
Do not derail the... Do not derail.
Yes, derail.
Just look at this. Just look at this because you mentioned one.
Okay, so it's a hoodie of Saitama trying to draw his face through a mirror, but it's the...
It's a One Punch Man parody of the Norman Rockwell art piece, The Painter.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, where he's looking in the mirror trying to draw himself, and it's basically...
I want that shirt.
Exactly. I thought you would enjoy that.
I wish I could afford it. I haven't carried drugs in a while.
Oh yeah, you've been busy trying to get into school, so... That's basically it for me, so Legend, why don't you tell us how your week's been?
Well, besides going through my studies, I have to basically chart out a novel. I'm not writing this one. I'm basically building a roadmap from beginning to end where it takes every single turn. And besides going through several bits of poetry, translating them from Spanish to English and English to Spanish, and besides doing some research and looking into my grad schools. I've been a long while coming, but I am going to go into grad school, or at least try. Besides all that, school's been pretty much more or less the same. The same old song and dance, the same old grinding of the anyway.
Burning of the Midnight Oil.
Yes.
Which you've been spending playing Monster Hunter.
You could say that.
You've been helping me hunting practically every other day, so yes, I know.
Yes, and on that note, for Monster Hunter, I decided that after going through several times using my super high level over 400 hunter rank, in other words, I'm over 9,000. After doing that a couple of times, I realized that I was basically robbing Zer0 of all the experience that he would be getting, so I decided to start a new character and raise them up alongside him.
To which I did not realize you had done that and decided to go against the Rathalos.
Oh, how was that?
We died.
You died.
We both died.
We both died. Though, I think I stood my ground pretty well, all things considered.
It was horrible. I should have made us go against the Rathian instead.
I could have taken him. It's
Well,
just I'm not used to fighting without all of my uber skills in place. So, I do know the monsters, I just don't remember. I do know the monsters, it's just that I have to get used to fighting them the way I used to before I got really good.
Before you became a badass.
Yes.
So how long did it take you to get to Hunter rank 400?
I've been building it up ever since I got the game. So, the year it came out.
I'm never going to get to level 999, am I?
It depends on how much you invest into the game.
It depends on when Monster Hunter Cross comes out.
No, it depends on how much of your soul you pay to the Monster Hunter Devils.
Speaking of devils.
You mean Gormagala?
Oh, you know by now the Gormagala is not the worst thing you've faced today.
No, that was a Tigrex.
Yes! And how did that go?
Our internet connection died, and so instead of me and Legend fighting it...
It was Legend fighting one Tigrex and Zer0 fighting another. And oh, that was fantastic.
I managed to get the sub-quest done so I could pussy out like a bitch.
You didn't pussy out. You survived long enough to break his claw and get the hell out. That's what we call surviving. Not pussying out. Okay, imagine, if you will, a cross between a Tyrannosaurus Rex and a tiger. It's a winged dragon that refuses to fly or breathe fire. All it does is convert all of the strength that it would have done flying or shooting fire into its biceps, which it uses to drag itself along the ground and along any surface, whether it's horizontal or vertical, to run your ass over like a freight train.
And oh dear God, does it hit.
Hard! Oh yeah, I think it 2 or 3 shots you, even in highly upgraded armor.
I was using Zamtheos armor, and honestly, he would have killed me in about 5 shots.
5 shots. And how often does he hit?
Often.
Oh yeah, you haven't even seen the part where he actually goes for the triple.
Ugh, Tyric suck.
Yeah, but you get used to it. Anyway, other than Monster Hunter, doing the usual practicing so that I don't get my ass thoroughly handed to me in Dark Souls 2. Though something tells me that's not going to work.
Well, given the fact that we died, I don't know how many times in Brightstone Cove.
Well, we were trying to get everything.
How are you guys dying in Brightstone Cove?
Because we're trying to get everything, and we got surrounded.
By spiders and summons and mages.
So we did get some good payback in certain parts. Don't spoil it.
Okay.
So,
but yeah, at the end of our recording session, we got the 3rd Great Soul.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're heading on into the sewers next.
Spoilers.
Right.
That's going to be friggin' fun.
Yeah,
so I'm assuming if you guys are going to get all the items, you're going to defeat the 2 bosses down there, aren't you? The optional ones?
Remind me of the option. Wait, in the gutter?
There will be rats.
The one in the gutter, and then the one that was in the Doors of Pharaohs, which isn't down there, but is still an optional boss.
Oh god, Royal Rat Authority.
Fuck! I have some strategies for fighting him.
The Royal Rat Authority isn't that bad. The Vanguard, on the other hand, can go suck a Rusty Spike.
Yes!
Well, the thing is, we have a Zweihander, which is easier to handle than my fucking Greatsword when we last encountered them.
You don't have you not realized that bigger is not better?
Well, we also have hexes. We can use Dark Storm if they surround us.
You can go on thinking that if you like. I'll watch you die.
Oh, that's joyful. That is joyful.
I will watch you die, throw your controller, break that TV screen, and then storm out of the house. After the 4th time that doesn't work.
God damn it, Legend.
Yeah.
Technically, I did beat the Royal Vanguard on the practice playthrough that I did.
Very good.
So we can win with it. It only took me 2 tries.
Only took you 2 tries. How long do you think it's going to take us?
Well, with the Let's Play curse,
It's going to suck.
we're going to have to dedicate an entire video to it and to the Royal Rat Authority.
That's what we were planning on having happen for the ONS fight. Then we decided to be cheap.
And I decided to win.
Yeah. Anywho's, it's...
Leo, why don't you go ahead and tell us how your week's been?
How's Iowa?
My week's been doing pretty good. You know, I haven't had too much time to play much. Mostly reading. I did job interviews last week as far as my not last week, but yesterday as part of my required things for school. That since we've all been discussing post-school plans, internships for the summer. Hopefully, I can come back. If not, at least I'll be able to do something here. Maybe visit for a few weeks.
Yay!
Video game wise, Pokemon, building teams, a little bit of Binding of Isaac. Not too much, unfortunately, in terms of Dark Souls, mainly just because I haven't had the time for it. But between school, getting the podcast ready, I really don't have that much free time anymore. It's really just been kind of a life drainer.
I hear you.
This semester, so
I've
been trying to do my best.
Well, we'll try to find more topics and stories for you.
But you guys actually have to go find the stuff, because I think because Akari and Muzi keep finding more stories for me, and that's how I'm sort of just it's not that bad, but still.
Special shout out to you guys.
Yep. Shame you guys
Anyway.
couldn't be here, but Akari's work schedule kind of got in the way. We would have ended up having to record 2 hours later.
3?
Yeah, well, we would have to record at 5. Leo would have to record at 6.
Anyway, it's a long time running. Special shout out today also to Mewtwo because it is his birthday while we're recording this.
Oh, really?
Mewtwo?
Yeah, February 6th, guys. That's when Mewtwo was born.
In the movies or in the
In the video game. In the video game, it says February 2nd.
Huh.
In the journals in Cinnabar Island. Apparently, someone is not paying attention to their lore.
Well, keep in mind, it's been ages since I've played the original games, which that will be remedied very soon.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, what else has been going on, man?
Again, that's pretty much been it. I'm probably going to be watching the Superb Owl tomorrow, or today when it comes out. Got a paper to do. Pretty much that's not about it. The only thing that I do need to remind us is that the tidal wave of video games is coming out soon.
Oh God, yes.
Oh God, no. I have very few funds that I can dedicate towards that.
All the games, none of the time for me.
All the games, none of the time, were money for me.
Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, Fire Emblem Fates, and Bloodbright.
Bravely Second.
Well, that's not until April. That doesn't come out this month. Digimon, Cyber Detective.
Cyber Story.
Cyber Story. I think Street Fighter V is also coming out this month too.
Oh,
so
gosh.
lots of things going on.
If I can go on a minor tangent about Cyber Story, I've heard a lot of mixed things about it.
Why?
Apparently it didn't have a very good translation because some of the tutorial stuff is redundant and has grammar problems that would make Legend blow a gasket.
Well, it depends on how bad the grammar is. On the one hand, grammar is something that I have worked very, very hard to learn, understand, and I can be understandably upset if it's a really bad transition. On the other hand, the fact that grammar can be so wonderfully twisted into something like saying, let's eat, Grandpa, with a comma, or let's eat Grandpa, as in let's be cannibals. It amuses me. So it depends on how bad it is.
Yeah, are we talking about all your base are belong to us levels of terrible?
That's another one that I love, by the way.
It's not that bad. It's more of the lines of incompetency.
Well, what do you think happened with all your base are belong to us?
That's incompetent, but this is more like a technical oversight. Like, I forgot if I could remember where I found the Tumblr post that showed the pictures of it, then I would show you. But other than that, I also heard that the game is also very, very, very hard, at least according to Muzi.
Very, very hard because it's challenging, or very, very hard because it's bullshit?
I'm thinking a bit of both.
Ah, shit.
Well, I think like, because I mean, really, in RPGs, is it grind heavy? Is that what it is?
Either that or I think the battles are difficult.
Well, so long as it doesn't have... Well, there was a game back in the day on the GameCube called Batten Kaitos. And there was this one point that I got stuck at. Because the save points were, in fact, save points. But the save point that... well, the only way you could level up was by certain specific save points. Not every single one was available. So imagine getting caught at a very, very difficult boss, and this save point doesn't allow you to grind to have the appropriate level to kill it. And locks you away from being able to get to those other save points as well.
Oh, joy.
Oh, yeah. If you went in there and saved, you'd be screwed.
Reminds me of a save point in Final Fantasy X. Basically, you're fighting, spoilers, you're fighting Sin, the big, bad, giant whale monster in the
Isn't
sky.
it established that you are going to be fighting that big, bad, giant whale monster in the sky from the very beginning?
Yes, well, here's what happens. Before the battle begins, you save and stuff like that, and you can do whatever, and then when you go to fight him, you take care of his right arm, you take care of his left arm, you take care of the core on his back, then you get the option to save again.
Don't.
Don't, because what you're going to have to fight is Overdrive Sin, a countdown boss.
So, in short, if you save, you're fucked.
Which happened to me in my first playthrough.
Ooh.
I could not win. Because basically what would happen is he would open his mouth at the end of the timer, activate Giga Gravija,
And you'd be dead.
insta game over.
Of course. Of course it is.
Yeah, fuck. That's one of the stupidest moves that they could ever have.
That's what we call
Because-
sloppy.
Because you couldn't. Because the save points also act as teleports. You can go anywhere in the world with them. You can't during the Sin fight.
Joy. So, what else has been what else is on the agenda? Before we go any further into the dark.
I think we can pretty much go ahead and call it safely. Call it safely. Just in case, did we announce the Mew event last time, guys?
If we didn't, we might as well again. Mew is out, guys! Grab them while you can, before they're gone.
Seriously, grab them while you can. I went to GameStop yesterday after my interviews, and apparently they were instituting a severe one code per person rule because they were having shortages.
I'm going to have to go tomorrow then.
Yes, you should not be delaying.
I know. And just in case, try to find a card for me.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, they will not give out more than one per location.
I know, which is why I'm saying if I can't get one in my area, I'm asking you.
That's what
No,
part
he
of
can't get you one because he has one already. That's the problem. If you don't go yourself, you won't be able to get one.
Legend, thank you for going ahead and acting as my hard-to-hear translator. I'm glad to see that someone is listening to me.
Yo.
Sorry.
Derp, 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 derp.
Anyway, this month is Mew. Next month is Celebi.
Next month is Celebi, and they're going in.
Oh! Are they finally legal?
Well, Celebi was legal even in Gen 4. They had a Gen 4 Celebi event.
Yeah, I have that one.
Yeah, so did I.
No. The thing was that even then, there was some difficulty getting Celebi. As in, the system was crashing thanks to Celebi.
I don't remember that.
Well, imagine this. You're scrolling through the list of people, and everyone has their own custom sprites, and suddenly people have their faces or hair missing on the little icons.
You're kidding me.
I am not kidding you.
Bullshit.
I am not bullshitting you.
Bullshit!
No! It was that bad!
Legend, we're talking about Pokemon, right? We're not talking about a Bethesda game.
Yes! We're talking about Pokemon, not Bethesda. And it was worse!
Was this for Battle Revolution?
No, this was for X and Y!
What kind of hack check are you getting into?
Not me. It was the world.
I mean, I know Leo has the capability of giving me hacked Pokemon.
Hey, don't pass that around.
Little late for that, anyway.
Under-the-counter stuff stays under the counter.
Anyway, let's go ahead and move on before I make Leo a target.
Yeah, before you make yourself a target.
Shut up.
There you go.
No.
Anyway, so let's go ahead and discuss let's go ahead and go into the douchebag of the week. And boy, there were a lot of douchebags this week.
Oh, hang on. There was
before
one
I
other
forget,
little thing.
there was one overlooked thing I forgot also. For those of you who missed out on the other Nintendo Direct, Corrin and Bayonetta are now out for Smash.
Fuck, I need to pay for those.
And from what I've heard, both characters seem to be really freaking good.
Yeah, on the same level with Cloud and Ryu in terms of new characters.
Well, that'll be... It's just amazing to see these characters in Smash, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
And-
Corrin is not so much surprising.
Well, even Corrin, I've been hearing good reviews about Corrin, especially how he is drastically different compared to the other
Fire Emblem characters.
Fire Emblem characters.
But
Yeah,
then again,
exactly.
even Robin was different compared to,
Well, yeah. Consider that every single sword guy that they threw in more or less acted similarly.
Same.
Roy and Marth were both basically clones with different mechanics based around their swords.
Yeah, if I recall, Roy's based more around the hilt,
Yeah. And then we have Lucina,
who's actually a faster version of Earth.
but is basically a carbon copy everywhere else.
Yeah, the only difference for Lucina is she's 25% faster?
No.
25. I think there's also like a range difference on the up attack compared to the side beast.
And the lack of a sweet spot system with Lucina, making her a lot more friendly. Though she does have one old school combo that Marth used to be able to do that he cannot anymore. Don't quote me on that, though. I think the pro still does it. They'll probably be able to do it. But when they introduced Robin, they were starting to get the idea, oh, hang on. We've already got all these swordsmen who are acting exactly the same. Let's mix things up a bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now we have Corrin, who
Is part dragon.
well, yeah, and also uses spear-like techniques as opposed to sword techniques.
As well as turning his arm into a giant maw to mash you up.
Which is awesome.
And now I want to make a character based on that idea.
Be careful what you wish for.
Anyway, so those two have been released. Go check them out if you get a chance. Anyone want to place bets on a final remix for Smash?
A final remix? You
Well,
mean like...
basically where they take all the new content and put it under one neatly designed package?
I could see that. What I'm actually seeing is when the NX that finally decides to come out, they'll do a Super Smash Bros. Final mix.
That's what some people are thinking. If not the next Smash game, but I mean, Sakurai already said no, but we'll see.
Sakurai's kind of fed up with Smash, I think.
Yeah, I would say so.
I could tell that he's like, oh god, can we get this over with? I could see how it is in the interviews in the Nintendo Direct, how he was looking at the camera. He was just like, we done yet? He's had the look of, I'm not doing anything else for you fuckers.
Well, Big Daddy Sakurai has had a lot on his plate, so...
You were gonna say Big Daddy Sakura for a second there, weren't you?
No, I was not.
Yes, you
I don't
were.
even know what that is.
Neither do I, but that's what I was just saying what it sounded like.
It sounds like a really, really bad... Anyway, before I complete that thought and lose half my lunch. Anyway, let's move on to the douchebags of the week so I can lose all my lunch.
Oh, this first douchebag of the list. Ooh, this caused a lot of argument between me and Akari.
Lots
as well
of
as most of the
salt.
internet in general.
Yep. Well, when you try to put a copyright down on a word, and not to mention, this word is in fact the word we're all using to describe our actions, or rather, reactions.
Yeah, it was inevitable, folks. We're discussing the React World controversy.
Yep.
Either of you guys are probably more familiar with it than I am. So one of you guys want to go into the details, and then I'll talk about the sort of the things that were getting people really pissed off.
Well,
Okay.
before we get into this isn't the only story. We've got a ton of copyright crap
I know,
going
but
through it.
Save it for the next one. Let's do one at a time.
Well, starting with...
The Fine Brothers, aka the people behind the reaction videos, which I honestly feel is like one of the lowest quality types of videos on YouTube.
You
Like
also understand.
Old people react, kids react.
Honestly, they're entertaining. They are very entertaining.
Honestly, I find them just the lowest of the low
Well, that's you.
in terms of quality.
I've seen worse.
I bust my hump. Minor rant here. I bust my hump editing, making images, and trying to post videos of Let's Plays on YouTube, and we barely get 30 views a video. I bust my hump. So, excuse me if I'm a little bitter if the cheap-ass quality that the Fine Brothers shit out is getting more views than something that I've actually put legitimate work into.
Well, who's to say that they aren't working hard? Again, you got to organize a bunch of people getting together all at the same time, as well as edit and crop out all of the videos because they're also cutting out a lot of content in between every single image, as well as the fact that, well, they're also working with kids.
You're describing my work every time I make an episode.
Yeah, but now multiply that by 10 across 10 different people, as well as 2 different groups of people, both old and young. And, on top of that, YouTubers reacting, which means people coming across different continents in order to be able to participate in this event. So give credit where credit is due.
No, I won't. Because they're a piece of shit.
Well, then so are we. In fact, we stink worse at this point now, thanks to all that description I just did. Thank you very much, Zer0. We now suck.
God damn it, legend.
Can we move on to the fact at hand, please?
Yes. So,
Okay.
the React controversy.
So the deal is that the Fine brothers wanted to go ahead and they wanted to centralize their video works into React World. Was this going to be on TV or was this going to be like on YouTube still?
It was a YouTube company.
A YouTube company, which I still don't understand how that works.
Me either, but basically they were saying, hey, now you can make your own React videos under our stuff. We'll basically give you the tools and strategies you need, but we take a pay cut.
Needless to say.
Well, that was what they said. There were some issues beforehand about before this. Certain videos with React or certain mainly it was videos with React in them were getting flagged and pulled off.
And complete channels being just shut down.
One of the ones in particular was Ike's I Hate Everything, and I think even some of Doug Walker's videos got flagged too around the same time.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's not just because of the Fine brothers. That's also because of YouTube's completely asinine and bullshit copyright claim system, which fucks anyone over who tries to post anything.
Now that's
Tales of Vesperia, if I can revive the salt.
Can we go ahead and can we continue on, please?
Fine.
Yes.
Okay. So they go ahead and they do that, and even the most damning evidence of this was that someone actually did the legwork and researched on the U.S. Patent Office and found that the Fine Bros were attempting to trademark the word React.
In short, anyone who does a React or reaction now has to go through paperwork and all the legwork necessary in order to be able to keep their video, as well as fork over a sum of cash.
Okay. Before we go ahead and we go any further, I need to go ahead and make the legal disclaimer. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a legal student. I'm only saying what has been told to me by actual legal people, and is a very minute representation of the knowledge that I actually know.
All right.
That being said, you're wrong.
All right.
The whole thing about patents works is that if you want to use something that has been patented, you have to give credit to them, which is why the whole React world was being built. But in order to make people pay you, you have to have a foundation upon which legally they have to pay you, which is why they were trademarking that.
Okay, so as opposed to a patent, it was a trademark.
And keep in mind, there's a difference between trademark and copyright, which a lot of people don't seem to realize.
Well, yes, there is, but more importantly, the deal here is that they were going to go ahead and protect the word React for the Fine Brothers' own personal use. I'll go into the. The patent is still going through. I don't know whether they retracted their application or not.
They did.
They did? Okay. And, well, we'll go later on to why that wouldn't even succeed anyway. But it's going to be the same issue that I was explained to it, and that would be more or less how that applies. But generally speaking, they faced a lot of backlash, got a lot of subscribers to drop, and, yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, if I recall right, there's actually a live counter of the Fine Bros subscriber count, and people are actually live streaming the decline.
Yeah, I definitely know Tear of Grace was doing that for when he did his video of it.
Yeah, if I recall right, they've lost almost almost a million subscribers.
Yeah, which that's a significant portion of their population.
Yeah, even though they have over 13 million almost 14 million subscribers before this whole kerfuffle started, the problem is that most of those channels are probably dead channels.
Well,
kerfuffle, I wouldn't trivialize it that small. Especially because of the story that we'll be seeing later, and the basically what that basically says for YouTube,
Okay.
as I understand it.
And I'm just going to go ahead and say, despite how when they fucked up, what the Fine Bros did was they offered an apology, but I took a look at the wording of their apology, saying how they took down React World, took down the copyright. But you know what? There was no apology in their written apology. They said we'd like to apologize, but they never give a reason why they're apologizing. In fact, they even start to pin the blame on people.
Well, it's kind of
And then
again.
they start sounding like a corporate company. Sorry, I just want to keep continuing this.
Well, I was actually going to say, but yeah, that's exactly what it is. This is a business, and especially with YouTube, it's very different because it's monetized art to a certain extent, and once you've hit that point, it's very complicated. So yes, there's obviously some corporate cookie cutter style sort of apology that was thrown out there.
Yeah, and the thing is, it was just posted on Twitter, and because of how the way Twitter works, it's not really getting filtered through properly, and so people are still unsubscribing from the Fine Brothers.
Well, that's going to end up happening. I mean,
Yeah.
when that sort of thing goes down, but
And a lot of people I know are too quick to forgive the Fine Brothers for this bullshit, if you ask me.
well, you also have the problem of the opposite end, where people say you burned your bridge, now you got to live with it,
Well,
and they're not necessarily being fair about giving it the other way. After all,
well, what I'm saying right now is they're dancing on a knife's edge.
And again, that's what I mean, is that people are not. Again, this is something that has been. This is again a growing industry. It is not something that is essentially established, and we don't have rules for it. So people are also on the same edge, being too hasty to cut ties off. I mean, there needs to be sort of a balance here. And while it is fair to understand, it's fair to understand that on the one hand, because that's their shtick, they do feel that let's make some more money off of this, and let's do it this way, kind of like how Nintendo is doing it.
Oh God, yeah.
At the same time, because there's leeway and stuff, the YouTube has a lot more influence whenever there's like a social backlash.
Mm-hmm.
It's much more reactive to it than on a traditional economic market. So it's a very different system. It's not necessarily the perfect system, but it is something different that people have to be aware of when they're doing business with YouTube.
All right. But
this is only part one of the copyright bullshit.
yeah, number 2 on our list of people trying to copyright bullshit is Sony.
Well, this is more of the follow-up from last week, where where we were talking about the Let's Play patent attempt.
Yeah.
And this is actually the follow-up to where the patent office says, no, you can't.
Because there was already a patent on the name Let's Play with a Z.
Well, actually, no, that's not what it is, and this is sort of what I asked my trademark professor about.
Okay.
And so again, not my legal advice. This is more just me understanding what he told me about this situation.
Understood.
So when it comes to copywriting terms, you have to look at how the term is being used. And so he basically told me is that there were 2 terms. You have general terms, and then you have brand terms or unique terms. So think about it this way: when you say a soda versus a Coke, soda refers to the general brand of soft drinks, the whole bargain.
Right. But if you say Coke, you're talking about Coca-Cola, which is a unique company name.
Right, and it's unique, and it's a unique item. And even though sometimes people, especially me, I will use this, will sometimes, and we'll often say we'll say the brand name instead of when we don't necessarily mean the brand name.
Mm-hmm.
But we use it to refer to the brand to the group of items as a whole.
Yeah.
So it happens. So basically what it goes down to is that Let's Play is such a broad term that it should not be trademarked.
Right, because that'd be like trying to, again, I have a copyright on the word soda.
Yes, and that's basically what that would be as close to a understanding of what I got from what my professor was telling me. The Polygon article that I actually got it from sums it up a bit better. It says that um, the that let's play is a merely descriptive term, and that even though the trademark application remains active, it's not likely that it would prevail, and that the trademark would be refused.
I see.
There is justice in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So a descriptive term as to opposed to one which applies to a very specific item.
Right. Because if this were to go through, as unlikely as it would, even we would be under fire because of it.
Yep.
Right.
Even though we use Legend Hunters Play.
Well, the idea is that it would still be a, and even then that goes into further things which I'm not even sure how it would apply. So let's just leave it at that as the minor ramblings of a law student who's trying to comprehend the language of the professor and move on.
All right. So that's part 1. Part 2. What was part 3?
EA
probably
versus...
the more hilarious of the 3 fights.
Oh boy, here we go.
Okay, so Ubisoft and EA are fighting each other over the trademark Ghost.
Seriously?
What?
If I recall right, EA doesn't even have any games that use the word Ghost.
Well, here's the thing. Ubisoft is filing against EA. Ubisoft is citing ownership over the phrase Ghost Recon, such as Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare, as to reasons why EA shouldn't go forward.
Okay.
Again, it's not entirely clear right away what EA is going to use the trademark for. You're right, they don't have a game that pre-exists with it, but apparently they're planning something big related to that.
Oh, man.
Like, EA couldn't even become more of an evil conglomerate.
Well, again, bad versus good business practices are not necessarily unclear. Or not necessarily clear.
Joy.
Yeah, so that takes care of the messy copyright stuff, but we still have plenty more to go through.
Yeah, for instance, now we're transferring from copyrights over to censorship.
Yes, and I know you, Legend, you have a particularly strong feeling about this particular one.
Alright.
So,
Well, the floodgates have been opened.
So, Fire Emblem Fates is going to remove the quote-unquote drugged romance sequence and the petting minigame.
Okay, the petting minigame I don't know as much about, though...
Okay, so I can actually go into a little bit of that.
Okay, but I may.
The petting minigame is that basically at certain points, characters would approach you and you would do a Pokemon and Me style minigame where you pet them.
Which is...
pretty goddamn ridiculous.
Well, it's strange. I wouldn't say it's harmful. I would say it's strange.
It's more a product of Japan, if anything else.
Like, Pat. Well, okay, hang on. Pat has different connotations than...
Actually, it's as innocent as it sounds. Someone uploaded the minigame footage, and it's basically the video that was shown has Celia, the Tharja stand-in for that game, approached the protagonist, and basically he's just caressing her cheeks, her facial cheeks.
Well, I do have to wonder, why is this here? Just like
I think it has to do.
Just like in Kid Icarus Uprising, there was a minigame where you could dump some money so you could have Palutena walk closer to you.
Yeah, that was weird.
I'm not sure why these exist, but the Palutena thing wasn't censored. This was.
Thoughts, Leo?
Japan is weird.
Well,
Gee, you think?
Japan is weird. We've already established this.
Because see, here's the thing: is that this is not like Pokemon. This is not like Pokemon a Me Pervy, where you can go ahead and do the naughty things you're not supposed to. The pictures of the characters are clearly from the neck up.
Huh. So it's only the head.
Yeah, pretty much the head. So you're pretty much limited to the cheeks, hair, forehead, etc.
And okay.
So, I mean, I don't know why, essentially. The second one, I think, will become more prevalent.
Okay, so this is where the social justice warriors really start to ruffle my feathers. Number one, I understand the implications of what they're trying to stop, if that was what it was. Drugging is not cool. Take it from someone who's worked with border and customs. It's not cool. There's some serious shit for this. Heck, they even there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. If that was what this was about, the exact story as to what goes on with this particular case is not what it's blown up to be. What the SJWs are saying is that you drug someone to turn them from bi into a straight. Or rather, from a lesbian into a straight. However, number one, the person who is supposedly a lesbian is not. She just has an awkward habit. And she says so herself. This is not actually her taste. She actually is straight. Just she has an awkward... She gets a little flustered because after making fun of her father so much by imitating his flirtatious ways, she's gotten to the point where she's actually having a reaction to it and is freaking her out. So she approaches the main character. Not that there's anything wrong with that particular color. Don't blow that out of proportion.
Don't worry.
But it was her choice to switch over. And she wanted to get out of that particular habit. So she approaches the main character and he offers her a potion that basically turns her eyes into Rule 63 goggles. She basically reverses everyone's gender, not just girls, but guys. And she starts having fun just looking around and seeing everyone.
I think we've had this conversation before.
Yes.
We've had this conversation.
But they still censored it. This is not a drugging romance. She asked him to help her. And it's still getting cut out.
So I'm going to go ahead and give you some explanations as to why. Not that they're good, I'm just going to give you some explanations.
Oh, I am going to enjoy this.
Let's start with the most basic of which is going to be my de facto for this little debate, is that it's too complicated.
Too complicated.
Yes.
So
this isn't. So let me go ahead and let me rephrase what you just said, and let me try not to be as verbose about it.
My
we have
apologies.
a character who, because she liked to make fun of her womanizing father.
Yes.
Now has picked up on his habits.
Yes.
And then, instead of seeking counseling,
Which she does.
Again, getting to that. And when she seeks counseling, I should say when she seeks counseling, instead of going through, talking it out, trying to go ahead and solve it that way, they resort straight to the drugs.
It's not a drug, it's a potion. And he
that's
let
like
her
saying,
know.
That's like saying coffee isn't a drug. And I think we can go ahead and say that. And I still, and even though I don't drink coffee, I can see where, that poses an issue.
Like, I get grumpy without my morning coffee.
Yeah, caffeine addiction ain't no joke either.
But the problem is caffeine does jack shit for me, except mess with my bowels. Other than that.
But anyway, so you got that.
I have no shame.
And going through this and helping this person with their problem makes them fall in love with you, which gives an implication that were you not physically appealing, this would not be the case.
Fair enough.
So
Even
I'm not
so.
saying that that's not what it is. I'm just saying that sort of perception is difficult to explain. Keep in mind, we are still in a country where people are upset that two people of the same gender are allowed to get married. Even though that's the law of the land and the issue has been decided forevermore, there are still people who are pissed off on it.
And it's even more amazing to me that people will freak out at the slightest bit of nudity in this country. Like, it doesn't matter if people are wielding like 25 chain guns and shooting everyone until they were bloody pulp, but the second they show even the slightest bit of a nipple, it's like, oh god! Oh god! Get it away! Get it away! Oh, fucking Christ. And I just made my dad laugh in the other room.
Well, the censorship between violence and sex is one that is still fiercely debated.
It's still a load of crap. Anyway, let's move away from this and on to the next thing on our list. FNAF World pulled from Steam.
What the hell happened?
It was broken and buggy as all fuck.
Oh, God.
Scott jumped the gun.
Yes.
What else
yes,
is new?
No,
So-
I mean, he jumped the gun before he jumped the gun.
So what ended up happening is that naturally, as we've seen from Scott Cawthorn, he has a tendency to release his games early, much to the chagrin of his his gamers and the reviewers simultaneously.
Yep.
He originally was going to come out February 22nd. He decided, or like sometime in the middle of February. Then he decided, oh no, I'll bring it around January 22nd.
And then he brings it out even before then.
He brings it out on the 19th. And there were a lot of bugs in it. Like, you didn't see stat gains. Like, I think some certain parts of it were, like, buggy beyond help. And so, yeah, basically he done fucked up. And so what he had to do was pull off of Steam, give everyone a refund, and try to get it fixed.
Back to the drawing board.
Yeah, not a smart move, Scott. Not a smart move.
I guess he was just too excited and couldn't wait.
Yeah, that's his hubris.
Eh,
Yeah,
I don't blame him. I mean,
he wanted to make more money.
no, I'd say if he wanted to make more money, he would have, well, I don't know. He might have waited longer.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he's also got that movie deal in the works.
Well, it's kind of hard to see what Scott Cawthorn is thinking of, so we'll see how this works. I mean, at least Toby Fox doesn't have this issue.
Well,
Nah, Toby Fox is actually pretty chill.
But there's a difference in philosophy between what Scott thinks and what Fox thinks. So I mean, there's a difference in philosophies, and people are gonna have different ideas for how things should go down.
Minor tangent. I actually heard that Toby was actually in talks with someone from Nintendo
Oh, really?
oh my
to
word.
port the Undertale to the Wii U.
Holy shit, if that happens.
The problem is for him is that he made everything in Game Maker, which doesn't exactly translate well to the Wii U programming. So he would have to have help from a programmer to convert everything.
Not to mention, he would also, again, have to go through Nintendo.
Yeah.
But if he managed to do that, holy crap.
Wonder if there'd actually be a way to edit the fun levels, like from the very beginning.
The PC Master Race already has that covered, but what it would mean for people, what it would mean for Toby and for Nintendo would mean that we now have an indie game that you can buy, besides Shovel Knight or Shantae, that came basically from the woodworks. If your game becomes good enough, you could possibly make it big.
Yeah,
And compete alongside the AAA games.
which is why Sammy has been obsessed with trying to learn how to use like 3D models and stuff like that. He wants to make a game. He wants to be like Toby Fox.
I'm curious as to how the save mechanics for that game are going to translate over to a traditional console.
Yeah, how would that work? Well, we don't want to spoil it. Let's just say
It's been
that...
like, what, 6 months now? 5 months, guys?
Yes! You don't talk about it! Don't!
Actually, Toby said that he just didn't want. On his Twitter, he mentioned that he didn't want it like in the first few months because he didn't want to spoil it. But he knew eventually that the spoilers would come out, regardless.
Yes, but honestly,
And he says
in respect to the game itself, more than anything, I would prefer that we just say there are some interesting things in it that would be better experience for yourself.
But I do think I know how the controls would work. Basically, it's just like 3 buttons.
No, not
three
that-
three
that's not
buttons in
my-
the D-pad.
That's not my issue. My issue has to actually do with something else, but I guess it would be more of a programming issue than more of a something that we would know.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Yeah, like he would have to figure out how to convert the sprites. He'd have to figure out how to alter the coding without
Well,
changing
well,
anything.
no, that's pretty simple. It's basically going to be it would be Undertale remastered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would there be high quality graphics?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would be.
Smooth control.
Nah, I'm pretty sure Toby wouldn't change a thing.
That would be an achievement.
I think everything he did was pretty much intentional. From the way the music was to the way the sprites look. To...
Every single thing. I keep going back to that and going, really? You could do that? Holy shit!
Like, if you speed up the Ruins theme in Undertale, it actually is the same theme as Undyne's theme in battle.
You mean the waterfall theme?
No, the Waterfall theme sped up is Asgore's theme.
No,
You want to
got
do
that
your
backwards.
research again, buddy.
No, that's true.
No, dude. Why would Undine have a sped up of Toriel's theme when Asgore and Toriel are the married couple?
I'm not talking about Toriel's theme. I'm talking about the literal dungeon theme.
Waterfall is Spear of Justice.
No, it isn't.
Have you played it through?
Yes, I have. You guys are getting your things mixed up. Waterfall sped up is Asgore's theme. The Ruins theme sped up
Bet
is
you
Undyne.
$1.
You owe me $1.
Well,
No.
look it up first.
You owe me $1 too. I'm in on this too, fucker.
Go ahead. We'll settle this right now.
No, we'll not do it right
We'll
now.
settle this off camera, and then our viewers will come back in 2 weeks, and we'll find out who's fucking right.
I'm fucking right, you goddamn assholes. Anyway, moving on. Fallout fan forced to break vinyls to achieve refund. What the fuck is this all about?
Okay, so this one is rather confusing, and it makes no sense, which is why it's on this list. So, a Fallout 4, I believe it is, a Fallout fan ordered a vinyl set for the soundtrack, I believe. If not, it was, let me see, yeah, it was the 125 limited edition vinyl soundtrack for Fallout 3.
Really?
So he ordered it, and when he got it, one of the 4 discs was warped. So he asked Bethesda, can I get a refund? And so he got told that he only got $25 worth of credit for the 1 warped disc. Now when he asked why, apparently the representative told him that he had to break all 4 of them had to be broken in order to refund the full amount.
Ooh.
So he ended up breaking them himself.
Yes, and then the message ends. Once I get photos, I will happily refund you for your order. Thank you and have a wonderful day. So he wasn't able to replace the single disc, so he had to break all 4.
Ouch.
So, as Eurogamer notes, destroying goods to prove a purchase is not simply trying to scam the seller is not unheard of when it comes to companies trying to grant refunds. Once the story went viral, though, Bethesda changed its tune. We're following up with ThinkGeek, the company that sold the merchandise, as it is not the kind of service we want folks to experience from our store.
Gee, you think?
So, don't break our stuff to get your money back? Or don't break your stuff to get money?
Well, you shouldn't have to break your things to get your money back.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's what it should be. But just because there are people who like to be frauds out there, people are. You have to balance interests out.
Right.
Alright then.
So, with all of that said, shall we get down to some more geek out stuff?
Actual pleasantly game news.
Yeah.
Yes. Starting with Odin Sphere.
Leifstrasse.
Leifrasse.
Leaf Thrasher, what?
Leaf
so-
Thrasier. It's German. You've been playing Monster Hunter. You should be able to speak German, considering all the Gormagala weapons.
I haven't gotten all the Gormagala weapons. And 2, that's not one of the words. So what in the flying hell is this?
And immediately goes into a German accent. Wonderful.
Of course.
Anyway, so this is a remake of Odin Sphere to tide fans over until the HD remake launches in June.
A D-make? Like what, they did an 8-bit version?
Yes, that's exactly what it's touted as.
What?
What?
Yep. It's basically a D-make version of Odin Sphere, which in concept is supposed to be more like in concept resembles more Ghosts and Goblins.
Uh-oh.
As a spear-wielding Gwendolyn star of the full game, you'll fight monsters off in a forest setting. Controls are basic: jump over your enemies or quickly stab them in an effort to gain experience. Run out of hearts and it's game over.
Joy.
Oh boy.
Okay, so apparently the D-make is part of a PR stunt where back in November, Atlas launched a asked fans to tweet their support for the browser game. After clearing over 25,000 tweets, Atlas would agree to go ahead and make the Retrosphere game for browsers.
Oh, man.
So you can go play this on your computer right now.
Huh.
If my computer wasn't crap.
You're not familiar with Odin Sphere that much, are you, Legend?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, Odin Sphere was a game for the PS2.
Okay.
It has it's basically a 6-story plot that leads up to a final chapter. And basically, what they're doing is they're making an HD remake for the PS4, Xbox One, PC, etc.
Okay.
And because of all this, the game is getting a lot of traction. It's actually a game made by Atlas. Or at least published by Atlas. So you know it's good.
Well, not everything that Atlas has made is great, but I will admit that Atlas makes great games.
They have a higher standard of quality, if you ask me.
Chaos Wars.
Oh, never mind.
You asked, dude.
Oh, actually, never mind. Shin Megami Tensei 4, that was a piece of shit game.
Why?
It had a crap story. It was boring. And to get the neutral ending, you had to do so much complicated shit you needed a fucking walkthrough point by fucking point.
Well, walking the line isn't easy. Ask Johnny Cash.
You had to answer questions one way, then another, make sure you don't do this, make sure you don't do that. I had to do a numerical count to make sure of all the tallies I did towards chaos or neutral for the final question, which will determine everything. And it was bullshit. I had to fucking mark, okay, +1, -1, -1, +1, +3, -3. Yeah, too much math. I'm a biologist, not a mathematician.
But aren't scientists supposed to be able to do math easily?
We use calculators, we use computers. We don't do it in our heads, goddammit. We're too busy trying to figure out what the fuck the structure is.
Anyway.
Moving on.
Moving right along.
Onto a game that we're all so familiar with.
Well, mostly familiar with.
Well,
We
the
have no idea.
franchise, anyway.
We're playing the middle tier of this one.
Well,
Dark Souls. We have some more footage from Dark Souls 3.
yep.
Okay, so is this what I think it is? The quick steps. Am I thinking along the lines of Bloodborne and being accurate with this thought?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
So it's like-
Holy shit.
So, like with the Hunter's Bone and Bloodborne, you can do a flash step.
No, that's actually not what it is.
Oh?
No, it's literally a sidestep that's It's literally a sidestep that's faster than the roll animation.
Really?
Yes.
I wonder
That's cool.
I wonder if that's going to how you're going to be able to handle dodging all the whirling blades from like that one boss that we saw in the trailers.
Okay, so let me explain this because apparently you guys haven't seen the footage of it because you would know what this is. So recall that one of the new mechanics in Dark Souls 3 is weapon arts.
Huh.
Yep.
which allows you to do special techniques with your weapons. These weapon arts come from your magic points. Which means even if you want to go full-on barbarian, I don't touch magic at all, you still need some MP to pull off some sweet dodges and sweet moves.
Ooh.
So,
yeah, and that makes sense, sort of.
So for the dagger, you have this sidestep option, which is essentially a faster left and right strafing dodge.
That sounds cool.
But it costs MP. And as the people who are giving the little intro demonstrate, it can eat your MP really quickly if you don't have that invested.
Huh.
Well, that's good to know.
So the intelligent hunter will aim for the mix of MP, even if they go for the
MP, ST, and HP. Yep, you need all three.
that. Well, that does kind of make sense. Again, Tales of Vesperia, you had to use something called a technique point. So
Yeah. Well, that'll be interesting to see.
Yes, it will. But
What?
that way, you see that that's how that's going to go.
All right, then. So, let's go ahead and move on. Guitar Hero fans can finally shred to Dragon Force.
so far away.
We
We
wait for the day,
You-
for the night is so wasted and gone.
Oh,
We
you
feel
guys.
the pain of
No,
a
no, no,
lifetime
no. This
left.
is not Legend Hunters karaoke.
That's
But that
actually
would
an
be
idea
awesome.
I actually
But that
had
would
for
be
this
awesome.
channel.
Oh, man.
I legitimately had a thought where we could actually do that were songs.
Oh, my gosh.
I already know that Leo would be singing fucking Love's Vagrant.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
But yeah, so Dragon Force is coming back for the new Guitar Hero game. And let me ask, does anyone know if they... Because I understand they changed the system mechanics for it, but I don't understand what they changed.
Neither do I, because I've never played Guitar Hero. I've sometimes seen videos on YouTube of people playing the songs, and it's fucking awesome.
Because part of what I understood is that they made it more like actually playing guitar.
Huh.
That does sound cool.
Yeah, although, oh god, just trying to play that song.
Playing that song
Exactly.
on easy almost wrecked my fingers.
Try playing that on expert.
Fuck no. You will pay for it.
What would be worse, playing that or fighting against two Gormagalas at once?
I've fought that kind of bullshit before. You know not of which you speak.
Strike that! Shigaru Magalas!
I fought that. You will too.
Is this are you guys playing a game of which Mana Hunter sword is bigger now? Are you really getting to that point?
Not yet.
Legends is bigger still. Anyway, minor Dragon Force note. I saw on Tumblr, someone actually used the Undertale dog voice thing to make Through the Fire and the Flames using dog songs thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing.
Behold the ultimate boss, Toby Fox.
Oh my gosh.
It was perfect. Okay. Next up, a little bit of news came out where, remember the old tech demo that they had for the Detective Pikachu thing a while back with the god-awful, horrifying facial animations?
Well,
Yeah.
it's legit.
It's legit.
Yeah, and apparently this Pikachu is a womanizing detective.
Oh no!
He legitimately made a cat call at a woman passing by. A human woman, by the way.
Le fuck?
Le fuck indeed.
So, inspired by this act of debauchery, there is a petition going around asking that when they bring this over to the US, because they will and we all know it, they want Danny DeVito to voice the English version of Detective Pikachu.
Oh, let it be so. Let it be so.
Oh dear God Almighty! I don't know if that sounds amazing or fucking horrendous.
All in good fun.
The petition is started about a week ago, and is currently has 44,000 signatures at the time of this recording.
Remind me, has Danny DeVito done any voice acting work?
Pretty sure. I mean, he's Danny DeVito. Let me see, just to go ahead and so that I can give this man a proper rundown of what he's been in. He has been in Pulp Fiction, Garden State, Freedom Writers, Reno 911, Matilda. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Is his latest, probably best known role. He has done voiceovers in Space Jam, Hercules, and the recent rendition of The Lorax.
Oh right, he was Phil.
Philoctetes. Exactly. Like, can you imagine Pikachu talking like that guy?
Oh my
You
gosh.
just remembered Phil from Hercules, haven't you?
No, I know who Phil is. Get up on the Hydra's back!
Will you quit with the head slicing thing?
Oh, let it be so, please.
Let
The
the
world demands it.
let the heavens part and let this happen.
Well then, gentlemen, you need to sign the petition. They are 5,000 members short of reaching their mandatory 50,000 before Nintendo has to make a response.
Well, given how many views we get, a podcast that'll be about another 100.
Please go ahead and support this, guys. This is hilarious. And now we go from awesome interactions with the internet to terrible actions in the internet.
Oh joy.
So, surprisingly enough, Zero, I think it was either Zero or Akari who brought me to the attention of this thing.
Oh.
Yeah, it was either one of you because I wasn't paying attention to it.
Oh right, fucking hell, yeah. It was Akari because I was the one who reacted, and I'm like, what the fuck?
So, in lieu of Akari not being here, Zero, take it away.
Virtua Dolls, the sex controller. The controller you use with your dick.
I wish we could censor that, but really there is no better way to describe this device.
Talk about playing with your joystick.
I'm pretty sure.
No!
I wonder what.
I'm
I wonder
pretty
how
sure we're
QuickTime.
gonna go ahead and,
I wonder how
get
quick.
some parts malfunctions issues with that.
I wonder how QuickTime events work with that. Does the event happen when you come?
Oh, no.
I'm pretty sure if that was the case, the game would end in 11 seconds.
Oh!
I already knew people could fuck their iPads. Now this is just worse.
So let me go ahead and, just so that people aren't saying we're just being crass, let me go ahead and look up the actual deal here. Again, I've included the link from
Alpha Omega Sin.
but basically here's the skivvy.
Skibby.
Is that
Oh, we're 12.
there is a Kickstarter that is going around for an adult virtual reality game controller.
And every single perv coming out of the woodwork will sign up for that Kickstarter.
Well, apparently there's descriptions of anonymous backing.
Yes!
And
It
this
has
makes
to
me-
be! Because no one wants to be caught paying for this!
Man, this thing goes into really in-depth and it really shouldn't have to. Like,
Are you
seriously,
serious?
I'm looking at this thing's Indiegogo page, and just some of the features, like, do you really have to describe it that way?
Oh my
And for
god.
those of
Read a few
Yes.
lines for us, just so we get a good picture.
okay, I'll read some of the more non-sexual portions. Optional snapping controller designed for use with Virtua Dolls and VR, or snap in an Xbox One, Xbox 360, or Steam controller with one of our controller mounts.
So you can also hook this up to the Oculus Rift.
It's a VR game system, so yes, you can launch. It's supposed to be compatible with PC, Oculus Rift, Unreal Engine, and eventually it's supposed to go to the OS X, HTC Vive, and Unity 3D. And with enough stretch goals, it will be compatible with Android and iOS devices as well as Google Cardboard.
with this controller and the Oculus Rift, we can say goodbye to the human race because people will be too busy fucking their internet waifus to care.
Let
I
me
think
see.
that would be the least of it.
Also, it says that if they
Well, if anything, the gene pool will get a lot smarter.
well, it says that if they are successful with this device, they are planning on releasing a female version, which can be used with adult gaming or multiplayer experiences.
I don't want to know how that. I'm just picturing how the hell you would play Call of Duty with that. Oh wait, you already play Call of Duty with your dick. A metaphorical dick, at least.
No. I'm pretty. That only applies if you're playing Leisure Suit Larry.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Anyway, do you want to know what the stretch goals are? For
No, I'm pretty sure it's stretched out enough.
By about 5 or 6 inches, I would say.
Oh, that's cute. I'm pretty sure it's only 3.
Ooh.
What, me or the campaign?
Both.
I'm gonna ignore that comment and strike it from the record.
I'm
Barry,
fucking.
please remove that.
Barry isn't our editor.
I'm the editor, damn it! What I say goes!
Barry, go ahead
Listen.
and slap Zer across the face, please. Thank you.
That was the most gentle slap I've ever heard.
Yeah, it didn't even hurt.
Let's move on. So, everyone who has ever thought about getting a Hogwarts letter in the mail when they were a kid, shut up. You have all been going to the wrong place.
Oh?
Yes, so officially, J.K. Rowling has named the other 3 schools of magic in the Harry Potter canon.
Oh?
So, we've known for the longest time that Hogwarts caters exclusively to the UK wizards, and that there were at least 2 other colleges that catered to France and Russia, respectively.
What about the US?
So, we finally have the name of the US Academy, which is called Ilvermorny.
Ilvermorny?
Yes. There isn't a detail as far as to Ilvermorny, but it's probably going to show up in the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which takes place in the United States.
Which sounds awesome, by the way. Still sounds awesome.
Huh.
The other 3 schools that are mentioned here have a little bit more backstory to them. The other schools include Castel Bruxo, which is a castle tucked in the Brazilian rainforest for South American students.
That's cool.
You got Mahuto Koro, which is a Japanese school that stands on the island of Minami Iwo Jima.
Very cool.
And lastly, there is the Ugadu campus, which caters to the African continent and is supposed to be the largest of any of the institutions in the wizarding community.
Huh.
Now,
That is even cooler.
according to what Rowling has said, there are supposed to be 11 wizarding schools in total. Given Hogwarts, the 2 prior ones that are shown up in the movies, and the 4 recently released ones, we are still another 4 short in terms of the wizarding community.
Wonder if there's one in Germany.
No, probably not. I'm going to go ahead and say the missing schools are China, India, the Middle East, and the Arctic. Like either in Canada or Antarctica.
Really?
Something like that, because she's definitely going for a world view as at least hitting all the continents. And dealing with and placing them generally in areas that have large distributions of population.
All right then.
Alrighty.
So with that, let's take a look at the next thing on our list.
You're a lizard, Harry.
You're a rodent, Harry.
Wonder what would be the furry equivalent of Hogwarts.
Let's not go there. Anyway, the people behind Paranorman and Coraline have come out with a trailer for their next summer movie.
Kubo and the Two Strings.
And boy, does it look fantastic!
Holy
Yes, it
shit!
does.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I was never a fan of that kind of stop motion kind of thing from keep in mind, I was kind of interested in Coraline. Never did get a chance to see it. Paranorman,
I can vouch for it.
you can vouch for it. I've never seen it. Maybe it's good. It didn't quite appeal to me from the trailers, but this one, oh yes, it did appeal to me.
Well, instead of a American view, this was going for a more Japanese or
Mythical.
East look. Though I would definitely say that I think it's definitely more Japanese. No masks and whatnot.
And, yeah. Because we had basically two no-faces show up.
Yes. So very, very Japanese influence, and it basically follows a kid who uses his
Sitar.
well. I don't think it's actually called that. Sitar has a lot more
Sitar is
strings.
Indian.
Yes, and it's Indian.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't know what the Japanese...
But uses essentially one of the stringed instruments.
Yeah, where they use that huge pick and, like, only a few strings to make a symphony of noises.
That pick also looks like it's very Japanese too, because it's this giant spade.
Yeah, it looks more like the bottom half of a fan.
And it's awesome. He uses this guitar to do two magical things. Number one, he recreates George Harrison's "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" in full, beautiful Japanese string
Magistry.
remix. Yes, in all its majesty. And number two, he warps reality with it.
He creates, like, little paper cranes and soldiers and stuff with it, and he creates, like, a flurry of the paper cranes to create wings for him to fly.
Yeah, for about 5 feet.
For about 5 feet before he falls back onto the ground. There's a talking monkey. George Takei is in there.
Yes.
Oh
And
my.
ironically covering up a kid's eyes. Of all things. So, honestly, color me really, really looking forward to what this movie is going to be all about.
You know, it's actually been a while since I've seen a movie trailer that actually legitimately gripped me enough to actually say, you know, I want to go watch that. Last thing was The Hobbit.
For mixed results.
For mixed results.
But you know what's gonna stink, right?
What?
Is that there should be a game based off of it, and you know that if they make a game based off this, it's going to stink.
Well, that's movie licensed games in general.
Yeah. That sucks. Then again, I just had a flashback to the first movie I legitimately thought was crap.
Which was?
Aragon.
Oh, yeah.
Mom got me the DS game for it as well.
Ooh.
Lonely times these are.
Lowly times indeed. That was sophomore year of high school, I remember. I think that was either during or before I met you in Legend.
I think that was around the same time because I had read the story prior to meeting you. So yes.
And you know what? I still have not read the final book.
Neither have I. I think there needs to be a language writing class on how not to do fantasy stories. With this as like the required reading.
Exhibit A, Twilight.
Oh.
No.
Oh, no.
What were you going to say, Leo?
No, there needs to be a fantasy. There needs to be you know how they have creative writing classes. There needs to be the equivalent of that, which is how not to do creative writing, and this is the required reading.
Ah.
That and Twilight.
That would be a waste of money.
Actually, you could probably do a whole doctoral thesis class on how bad Twilight sucks.
Or why it sucks. That would be a more interesting story. Why does Twilight suck?
Why don't you do that, Legend? Because technically, I have you to blame for getting me to actually read those books back in high school.
I didn't understand to whom or for what purpose they were popular back then. I was a very naive child.
And basically...
And I dragged you into my sorry neck of the woods.
Keep in mind, I was more naive than you back then. And I tend to go by the... Excuse me. I used to go a lot by the words of friends on whether to check something out or not.
Oh, very much so. I do remember that time of the day, or that time in your life.
Yeah, basically, I almost took everything you and Leo said as gospel and decided to say, Why don't I check this out? Worst mistake of my life, goddammit.
To be fair, you checked things out when it came to JoJo and Dark Souls.
Keep in mind, I was apprehensive about JoJo at first. Same with Dark Souls, too. I now take everything with a grain of salt.
Because the salt is real.
Well, a little bit more than a grain, considering the amount of salt you tend to pass around.
My blood pressure is probably through the roof. Either that or I think I'm no longer considered,
I'm waiting for you to go to the doctor when you're in your 40s. Like, have you considered reducing the amount of salt intake in your life? I've been trying to do that for the past 20 years.
That is legitimately going to be the words I say to him. And he says, "Have you considered cutting back on the stress as well? I would if the world would stop being full of idiots."
Oh,
Because here's the thing, I'm not intolerant. The only thing I'm intolerant of, I don't
You're
care.
intolerant to intolerance. How about that?
I'm intolerant towards intolerance and stupidity.
Oh, the look on your dad's face.
It was just a look of.
Foot in mouth. Foot in mouth.
He
Derp,
just-
derp, 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 derp,
Apple
derp,
doesn't
derp.
fall too far from the tree there, then.
Where do you think I learned to be an asshole?
Oh, no.
Exhibit A is in the other room right now. Exhibit B is down the road.
Oh, you
Oh, joy. All right, let's move on.
Let's see.
Let's see here. Okay, so we got sales numbers from Amiibos from the past year.
And what do they show?
They show that we are deplorable.
How so?
In every way?
Despite what everyone thinks about Amiibos, they are selling incredibly well. Particularly 31 million Amiibos to date.
And yet they're still being scalped.
Yeah, according to the cumulative sales numbers, the most popular Amiibos in Japan are the Inklings.
Calamari, anyone?
All three of them. The Inkling boy, squid, and girl. With Mario taking up the 4 to 5 slots. 4 through 6 slots, sorry.
Huh.
Isabelle is 7, Kirby is 8, Green Yarn Yoshi is 9, and Digby from Animal Crossing is 10. On the US side, Link is number 1,
Of course he is.
and Bowser is number 2. And just for a nice little sandwich, Toon Link is number 3. Mewtwo's 4, Sonic's 5, Pikachu is 6, Mario is 7, Pac-Man is 8, Mega Man is 9, and Ganondorf is number 10.
Really? Ganondorf is in the top 10.
Yeah. Odd mix of Mario, Link, Inklings throughout the Europe rankings, but it's very interesting just to see how it's been going. So naturally, part of the reason that we have 31 million in sales is because the initial projections from the first and second quarters were far too low.
Gee, you think?
To the point that the supply was not able to keep up with the demand.
Yeah, I think that was like the topic of like every discussion we had on the thing.
If not more so. But yeah, so hopefully Nintendo learns from this and we will see some more experience with it.
Probably, maybe, not likely.
I don't know why the Amiibos took off like they did. I mean, we've had plenty of other stuff, the Pokemon trading cards, which are still around, don't get me wrong.
The Skylanders, we also had those.
Yeah,
things.
but why is Nintendo succeeding like it is right now with the Amiibos, or utterly failing?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I do believe that in the same discussion because Nintendo apparently got another net loss this year, I think.
Really?
So yeah, so it's not like that's. Well, keep in mind that's the business as a whole. So I mean, they did say that even if they were taking massive losses, they would still be fine until 20, 30 years. So let me see. Keep going down. Initial supply, low production numbers, leading to the rarity and increased market value. If not heard of Amiibo, still so the figures sell incredibly well. Most American stores. But yeah, so I mean, it's not entirely bad. It's not entirely good. It just means that the amiibo, whatever about the amiibo makes them good, it's working.
I think it's the ability for it to be cross-platform. Every single one of them is a cross-platform way to access stuff in the games, and not to mention the fact that, well, basically they're high-quality figurines too.
Yeah, even if you don't buy them for use with the game, they are still collector's items.
Yeah, keep in mind I have like 13 or 14. So they're doing something right if they got me hooked.
Not to mention, well, black market appeal, rarity.
Well, it's interesting because unlike the Skylanders, you don't see offhand amiibos.
That's true.
If anything, amiibos get sold over the internet very quickly compared to the Skylanders. So it's kind of interesting how that works.
Yeah? Huh. Well, that's certainly interesting, to say the least.
Okay, so let's move on. We got a little bit more video game news. Nintendo is partnering with Capcom to release Mario Party across Japanese arcades.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
a game that can take... One match can take up to an hour.
Well, let's go ahead. Well, I'm pretty sure. Keep in mind, it works a bit differently, but here's what the details are being told.
All
Is
right.
that Mario Party is heading to Japanese arcades with Capcom hosting. The game is titled Mario Party Mysterious Challenge World, and was debuted. It was going to officially debut at the Japanese Amusement Expo on February 19th.
Something tells me that it sounds better in Japanese.
This game is going to allow 6 people. That's 6 people
Holy
up
crap.
from 1 are going to become best friends or sworn enemies as they go ahead and do mini games and feature boss events.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, it's a friendship ender.
So the key thing here is that apparently this is going to be a circular disc-centered setup with 6 touch panels bearing cabinets convening around a projector.
Huh.
So basically, it's a Knights of the Round Table style thing where you sit down and that's where the shenanigans begin.
Sounds like a twist. Why am I thinking of... Oh god, my mind just twists to somewhere weird all of a sudden.
Did it go to Fortune Street?
No, it went to a cross between Mario Party and Saw.
I was expecting you to go Danganronpa, actually.
That... It's not that much different when you think about it. You fail, you die.
Except you don't die, you just lose coins.
Or friendships.
Friendships.
Oh,
Anyway, in notable news, in less notable news, Fast and Furious has a 9th and a 10th installment coming up.
No. Raise your hand if you're surprised. What? No one? Good. Moving on.
In more surprising news, 1990s cartoons are going to be making a movie appearance.
Wait, what?
What?
Jared Hess, the director of Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre, will be bringing back such classics as Rugrats, Rocko's Modern Life, and Ren and Stimpy to the big screen under Paramount Pictures.
What?
What?
Okay. Hold the fucking phone. You're talking about Rocko's Modern Life, one of my all-time favorite cartoons as a kid.
Yes.
Excuse me for a moment. I'm just going to have a little moment inside my head.
What does this moment look like, Zero?
Angelic Choirs?
Uh-oh. It's the end of the world as we know it. Everybody run!
Yes. This is with the follow-up from about 2 or 3 months ago, where it was announced that a Hey Arnold movie was also that a Hey Arnold TV movie was in development.
Hey Arnold. Oh man, that takes me back.
Will the romance ever be resolved?
No.
Apparently, actually,
Technically, they did that in the last Hey Arnold movie.
They did that technically the first Hey Arnold movie, the one that was released in theaters, and potentially they might be doing it with this one when they come back. That is certainly something that they said they were going to develop on. But anyway, the only details known about this Nicktoons movie is that it's going to be in a cartoon live-action blending style similar to that of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Seriously?
Yes. Although the actual details of the story are remaining scarce.
Oh.
Legend seems to be at a loss for words.
Well, you kind of threw me off there.
Yeah, it's distracted you so much you actually have to put away Monster Hunter.
Thanks for letting everyone know that I have been keeping myself busy that way. But I have been sticking around and I am still listening.
Okay.
But
so,
now I'm just...
Flabbergasted.
Oh, you think that's a shock? Wait till you hear this. Twilight Princess, in celebration of its remake, is getting a manga.
Woo! When are we going to get the translations?
Never.
Oh,
Not
we
for
will.
a while. It's barely. Let me go ahead and read the details to you. So so it's not a Nintendo licensed one. It's going to be a more fleshed out series. Starting actually in 2
Kinda
days
like-
on February 8th. This manga is going to be serialized exclusively by Shokugakun's Manga One app, and is going to be released that way.
There is a few Legend of Zelda manga out there. Like, they did one for Minish Cap, Four Swords Adventure. They did one for Majora's Mask as well.
They also did one for the Wind Waker, but that one was special.
They did one for Ocarina of Time and Link to the Past as well. So, most recently, apparently, they illustrated a chapter based on Skyward Sword. So this is so these Zelda, which go variously, were actually released as a 10-volume set back in 2011.
Huh.
So yeah, it exists out there in an English translation. So again, it's also, we don't know how long this is going to last. How long the run is going to last, so it's going to be interesting to see. And lastly on the docket, Phoenix Wright is getting his own anime.
About damn time!
6th video game, and he finally gets an anime series.
And the anime company, well,
It's...
it's a hit and miss.
On the one hand...
A1 Productions, if I recall
Let me
right.
give the breakdown. Phoenix Wright is getting an anime coming out April 2nd that follows immediately after Case Closed. And it's going to go ahead and go through at least right now, it's going to go through the first game.
Mhm.
Because right on the cover, you see the classic characters, Mia Fey,
Maya.
Larry Butz, Miles Edgeworth, and Maya, and of course Phoenix Wright himself. The company that's doing this, A1 Pictures, has done the anime for a notable series such as Sword Art Online, Fairy Tail, AI no Exorcist, and Kuroshitsuji.
Yeah, well, the Book of Murder one.
But no, it's done the Kuroshitsuji and Book of Murder.
Oh, so they... Okay,
It's
so
done both.
so that means
Done
they're
both.
also responsible for Kuroshitsuji 2.
Also, Asterisk War. No one remembers that one.
But then again, they're also doing the Persona movies, the Persona 3 movies, so...
Also,
Hmm.
Sword Art Online Extra Edition. Also, Ore no Imoto, which some people might remember as the really weird one. That has age issues. Persona. They've done movies. They've done OVAs. They've done spin-offs. They've even done actually a Valkyria Chronicle. They've even done the Valkyria Chronicles anime.
Huh. So again, hit or miss here. On the one hand, we might see some fantastic action sequences, but it's Phoenix Wright. So we're going to have to pray that they can animate some good facial reactions. And for the love of God, please keep the wig. We need the wig. It is the most...
For
for
Case
Payne,
1.
Winston Payne.
Yes.
Well, not just Winston Payne, but for the What was the first villain's name?
Oh, Frank saw it.
Yeah, Frank saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's already got me going. I need to go back to this game.
I had the Phoenix Wright the fifth game downloaded on a different SD card. I re-downloaded it onto my main 3DS, so now it has, because I have like 16 gigabytes of data on this thing.
Damn.
So I had like room for like, technically I could have got like 5 Monster Hunter games on this. Anyway, but yeah, I'm going to have to replay Game 5 as well, and possibly re-download the 3-game port on the Virtual Console. So, yeah, that'll be fun to do.
There you go.
And with that, that's all the news that we have. Any anime or manga that anyone's been watching lately?
No, just been rewatching Stardust Crusaders to bide my time.
I've been watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V still.
Yeah, I'm actually planning on doing that myself if I get some chance.
Nice. It's actually really good. Actually, a lot of, like, the first the first half so far dealt with introducing action duels and stuff like that. Then they go to another dimension, and it's all it's basically like 5D.
It goes back to 5Ds where it's card games on motorcycles.
Card games on motorcycles. Oh, I haven't seen the Abridged series in a long time.
Yeah, well, they haven't even started 5Ds yet. Let's see. I've actually been watching Assassination Classroom's second season.
And how's that going for you?
Pretty good. They just had the pole toppling match.
That.
With Asano's son.
Yes.
And reading the manga, it's almost over. It's almost over.
It's almost over. No spoilers now.
No spoilers, because honestly, a few characters kind of died or stuff. And it's kind of, wow.
Again, that's kind of spoiler territory you're going into there.
I didn't say who died.
But you said someone died.
Yeah, someone dies. Therefore, everyone is on the hit list.
Well, it's an assassination classroom. Someone's going to die.
You think that people would not be surprised by the naming of the convention of this series, but...
Yeah, the main goal is to kill the teacher. That's the main plot. Well, sort of. There's a whole bunch of other plots as well within it.
Oh, boy.
But it's coming to a close, and honestly, I'm kind of wondering what the final ending will be, but so far I'll say it's been a fun ride reading the manga. It's been a fun couple of years watching it.
Good to hear.
And the thing about it, it's actually deciding to end and not drag itself on again and again and again, like so many other things.
I was exactly going to go to Bleach.
Or, hey, start a completely new season that goes nowhere.
Shippuden. Shippuden.
Oh, no. Shippuden I actually liked where it was going at first. Once it got past the pain arc, then I kind of started
all
losing
bets are
interest.
off.
All bets were off.
All bets were off a great pain. And honestly, I don't think the series was ever as amazing as it was during the Zabuza arc at the very beginning.
Again, the pain arc.
That's true. After the pain arc, it just kind of went downhill, and they were introducing all these other peoples, these plots within plots, all these other things. No, I'm the leader. No, I'm the leader. No, I'm the leader.
And how much of a Marty stew can you make fucking Itachi? God damn it!
And basically turning Naruto into a messiah almost.
That I could almost forgive, honestly. Because there were some cool things that he did with these powers that were actually legitimately creative.
Like, I remember, it's not Rock Lee. Is it Rock Lee?
Guy?
No,
Guy, it's Guy.
It's my guy.
Maito Guy. He actually helped heal Mike because he basically opened the final gate. He was going to die.
Oh, but he was going to die epically.
Yes! I wish he died! It would have been epic. Like, I will avenge my pseudo father kind of eyebrow guy for Rock Lee. But no, instead my guy lives to see retirement and doesn't go out in the springtime of his youth.
Or
Well,
the
he
end,
already-
or the
it passed already. It passed
the
already.
springtime of his youth had long.
Right. Not the springtime of his youth, the burning passion of his autumnal rage. Like that was his crowning moment of awesome. I just punched a god in the face. And even if I'm gonna die for it, I'm gonna die being awesome. Now he's going to die a cripple.
Also, the name of the fucking move that he uses is so awesome. Night Elephant.
Yes.
And then the dub cripples him by calling it Evening Elephant.
God damn it.
Goddamn dub.
Nah, not necessarily bad dub, more like
the
bad
dub,
translation.
It's the translation, because even in the manga it says Evening Elephant when the original one said Night Elephant. Night Elephant sounds like a freaking Maverick name for Mega Man X.
Yeah, it does sound like a Maverick name. Either that or it sounds like a Nightcore cover band.
Exactly, there you go. And even then, that's not bad.
Keep in mind, Nightcore is the people that just makes the songs really fast.
Oh, I know. I've listened to some remixes. Not all of them are horrendous.
Yeah, I remember one from Owl City that I really liked. But then again, that's my weird taste. Anyway,
Oh, what about me? There's this one anime that I was watching alongside One Punch Man that I mentioned several times last year. But did I ever mention, like, what happens in the final battle?
No.
Which manga are you? What are we talking about?
Well, it was an anime, The Chivalry of a Failed Hero. Imagine this. Our main hero is poisoned, sleep deprived for 2 weeks, and he's still expected to square off against the strongest person in the school, who has been known to be pretty much invincible at close range combat. Because she uses a quick draw technique that turns her sheath into a rail gun. Not fucking kidding. And he's going up against that basically fucked up. Then he does basically what I would call a Kaioken times infinity. And because, again, the Kaioken is supposed to like squeeze out your life and improve your power, right?
Yeah, at the cost of severely damaging your body.
Yes. That's basically what this guy's main power is. Only Kaioken. The rest is just swordplay. He does this, but he decides, okay, instead of squeezing out my life for 1 minute, I'm going to do it for 1 second. To which his blood vessels literally start bursting all over his body, and in this bloody, slashing mess, he goes for the kill.
And he wins?
Does he?
You won't let us know.
Yes, but it was a single stroke from both of them. Either a lightning fucking railgun quick draw, or Kaioken times 1,000,000. Not infinity. Infinity would imply that he would win no matter what.
Yeah. But basically, every single ounce of his life in 1 second.
Pretty much, yes.
Damn.
And again,
Damn.
he was a bloody fucking mess. And the way they drag this out, because this is a single stroke battle, but when he goes into it, he shuts down his ability to see color. His ability to process information goes through the roof. Every single detail gets shrunk down into this crushed nanosecond of information so that he can fight. And they portray this beautifully.
Isn't that the whole trope that a single gunfight in an anime takes over 30 minutes, even though it should take like about 5 seconds?
Yeah, kind of along the lines. Only, yeah, I honestly got goosebumps from watching this scene. If you just look for that scene, maybe. Just look for it and just lose your shit.
Alright.
Holy crap.
So, any anime or manga on your end, Leo?
No, like I said, just pretty much just binge watching again. Stardust Crusaders.
I'm half tempted to also go back and watch Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Because that's still like my favorite series from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series.
Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and say do that because we get left out the 4th season from GX. We only stopped at 3.
Yeah, I actually watched the Japanese dub of the Darkness arc.
How's that
Exactly.
go?
So we actually missed out on quite a bit.
Yeah, and actually the Darkness arc was actually pretty good. The only thing that was really kind of weird was the names of the goons. They were all named Mr. T.
Maybe that's why they didn't allow this thing to cross over into the United States.
And basically the final boss fight is basically against the devil himself.
So
quite
Mr. T serving the devil.
Quite literally the devil, not metaphorically, literally the devil.
Literally Mephistopheles, but he's called Darkness in the series.
So yummy. Joy!
No, the English, the darkness.
The darkness.
Yes.
Oh.
Not Yami, the Darkness.
No, because you already have a Yami, who is equally badass. But his name is actually Atem, so, conning out? Cop out?
Yeah.
Cop out, anyone? Cop out? Cop out? Cop out? Anyone want to cop out?
Probably a cop-out. Maybe not. Anyway, news for the channel.
Oh boy.
Dark Souls Let's Play is going to continue on as scheduled. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, another episode. These next 3 episodes for the following week are going to be the last ones of me, Leo, and Legend all together.
So enjoy those while they last.
The next couple of episodes are just going to be me and Leo, because those will be during the time... The next following episodes will be the
I
ones...
got fucked up. In short, I got fucked up during that time. And I was unable
exactly.
I was unable to participate.
Yeah, and then... Other than that, technically, maybe me, Muzi, and Akari might do a Minecraft Let's Play.
You'd have to clear it with them first.
We technically did a test recording, so...
Well, again, you gotta coordinate with them.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's what he's saying. We might see that. It depends on when they're around and when he can get around and when they can go ahead and meet together. And there you go.
Yeah, and depending on when my schedule is free and if I can get my dad to disappear for a moment, like with these recordings. But who knows?
Well,
We
if you
shall
guys
see.
go for it, I'll look forward to watching your shenanigans.
Oh, God.
Indeed.
And technically we did record a thing of Mario Party, but we're going to wait for that until, like, after Dark Souls is done. Just as kind of a sort of a filler.
Yeah, we'll figure out how that will work. But, yeah, we do have more stuff up there.
And other than that, maybe Legend can work on his normal type review sometime.
Yeah, maybe he could. Maybe he fucking could. Maybe he could fucking finish this at some point.
This is turning into the ice type review again.
Oh, yeah, only worse. The procrastination is terrible.
Alright.
Let's see, what, it took a full year to get Leo to do his ice type review. Is it going to take 2 years for you?
You'll be lucky with 3.
Anyway.
Alright, let's leave it at that. Okay, so this is Leo Force.
This is Zer0.
And this is Procrastinator General, signing out.
Later, guys.
Ciao.
Bye.